Good morning, everybody. Arun here, and welcome to this webinar, and which I'll be talking about today for the next half an hour, 40 minutes. My name's Arun, and if you haven't heard me do a webinar before, this is my first webinar. I'm going to be talking about something called the Samera way, and I'm based here down in Surrey in the UK, and I run a firm of accountants called Samera, hence the Samera way, and I'm a chartered accountant for the last 20 odd years. Okay, but today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how I run my firm, how I've built my firm, how I run it. Some of the mistakes are made, but some of the other more important aspects of how I build a team, develop a team. But the underlying factor from all of this is how I build a firm which is happiness centered for myself. Now, I've over the years met so many firm owners and worked with firm owners and seen firm owners, and I've seen sometimes they might be making lots of money or doing well, but they're not necessarily happy. Okay, there's a lot of pressure from colleagues, partners, investors. So today I'm going to talk about the things that make my firm perhaps a little bit unique, perhaps make me happy, make my firm a happy place for me to work at, and hopefully for the rest of my team. And so I'm going to be talking about the Samera way. Now, this has all come from experience more than anything else. Trial and error, many mistakes, lots of money, thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds, sometimes lost. But I'm going to share my experiences and my ideas, and also my take on what's going on in the wider industry as well. As you can see, these are pictures of me running my firm in different guises when I was quite young. As you can see, I've got lots of black hair on the very first photo. A recent photo with some of my team in Valencia actually last year, which was a lot of fun with the team. A photo with my father, my late father, who kind of was perhaps my inspiration in many ways, and how to not run a firm. He wasn't an accountant, he was actually a civil engineer, but actually to how important, how to enjoy life, how to live life. A very kind of principled and simple person, but at the same time very powerful and impactful in my life. Another photo of me actually in Rishikesh. I've been working 25 years, working as an accountancy firm, and I started the firm back in 2002, 2003. But prior to that, I trained as a chartered accountant with PwC in London, which was a Big Four, still is a Big Four. And thank you for your messages back saying it's working, so thank you. And I've kind of worked in investment banking, I worked in management consulting, but ultimately I ended up being a chartered accountant running my own firm. And I never actually thought I'd be actually running my own firm. I never thought when I was training at PwC, I actually wanted to run my own accountancy firm. But lo and behold, that's how life took, and that's that decision I took. So I remember when I was working in investment banking, I was earning a lot of money at 28 years old. And I actually hated it though. The money was great, but I was totally unfulfilled. I was unhappy. And that was the main driver for me. I wanted to lead a happy life. I wanted to have a happy life. I saw some of my colleagues, I saw some of my bosses, they all were making so much money in investment banking. But you know what? 99% of them were pretty damn unhappy. And I thought, well, there must be a different way. I've got to do things differently. So I decided, you know what, I've got to quit. I've got to start and do my own thing. And I remember when I quit and left my bank, told my boss at the time I'm leaving. He said, which bank are you going to? And I said, I'm not joining any bank. I'm going to go and start up my own thing. He was shocked. He was surprised, but I did. I went and started up my own business and my firm. And starting the firm was actually really quite, well, at the time, I didn't know I was going to start a firm. I just wanted to start a business. And eventually thought about it, debated it. And I thought, you know what, why don't I just start an accounting firm? That's what I know a little bit about. Let me crack on. But as you know, I actually trained with PwC. So probably not the best firm to start, to learn how to start and run a firm. It's a big big company, big culture, big systems. And for me, starting as a one-man shop in my dad's kind of dining room was very different to working at PwC. But anyway, I did it. I started. And 20 odd years on, I've built a firm. I've got various aspects, and I'll come on to those aspects shortly, what I've done. But I've built a firm that I'm actually very proud of. Is it as valuable as I hope it would be? Probably not, okay. But do I enjoy what I do? Do I love what I do? Do I have fun with what I do? Absolutely. Okay. Do I get involved in the day-to-day nitty-gritty of client work? No, I don't. Okay. I've built a team that can help me support that. And I enjoy the aspects that I do enjoy, which are some of the marketing, some of the content, some of the client relations, that type of thing, and developing new ideas and strategy. So the key in my mind is that you've got to do something that you love. Okay. If you don't love what you're doing, if you're not enjoying, you're never going to give it your full effort. And that's kind of been a large part of my premise of how I run my firm and how I've built my firm over the years. So let me go on. I'm going to go through kind of the 11 kind of main aspects of the Samera way, and how I believe and how I think you potentially could run your firm. Obviously, you'll have your own ways and your own nuances and your own ideas, but some of these principles I hope will help you make a better firm, but also most importantly, create a firm that you're happy to run and you're happy to work within. The first slide I've got here is never follow the crowd, but always raise your head above the parapet and be willing to fail. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, as accountants, we're all trained to be risk averse. And whilst that's a great skill to have to some extent, to be an entrepreneur, honestly, that's the kind of worst thing to have. We're taught to be careful, be conservative, don't take a risk. And whilst those are important things to be for like an accountant, a pure accountant, but if you're going to run an accountancy firm, you've got to take that hat off and actually think about, how am I actually going to run a firm as an entrepreneur? Because as an entrepreneur, you've got to take risk, period. Okay. You've got to take some steps, make some decisions, hire people, fire people, take on good clients, take on bad clients. You've got to take these steps. So, and also you've got to be willing to stand out and be different. Now, one of the things I've seen, and it's quite interesting, I've been running a firm for 20 odd years, as I mentioned. Over the last few years, I started off a Samera Global, which is the kind of our offshoring and outsourcing part of the business. And I'd started that off because I thought I could help firms here in the UK and elsewhere in the world. But one thing I also saw was that I saw there's so many people offering offshoring and outsourcing. So many, okay? So many Indian firms, Filipino firms, South African firms, you name it, all over the world offering. But honestly, they were all the same, okay? And they're all competing on price. And they're all thinking like, the lower the cost I can charge, the better, the more clients I will get. So, and in my view, that's completely wrong. That's not how you build a business, okay? It's about being different. How do you stand out from your crowd? What do you do differently? And also, how do you communicate that out to the marketplace, that people are aware that you're different and you're different and you're doing things differently. So a really important aspect is that when I started off the Samera Global aspect part of the firm, I didn't realize how crowded the space was, to be brutally honest with you. But once you get into it, you realize, oh my God, there's another firm, there's another firm, there's another firm, all doing offshoring, all doing outsourcing. So, and I've put myself into it, and I'm raising my head above it, and I'm kind of trying to stand out and be different in many ways. Perhaps it's through videos, perhaps it's through events we're running in India, perhaps it's through some of the technology we're using, which I'll be talking about later. But what I want to stress to you is, don't follow the crowd, okay? Don't be the same thing as everybody else. Do something different, stand out, and raise your head above the parapet. Be willing for people to criticize you. Be willing for people to kind of make a snide comment about you. You know what? If you're doing that, you're doing something absolutely right, okay? Not wrong, right, okay? Because people will always bitch about someone who is a bit different, who looks a bit, who does things a bit differently. They might complain about it, but you know what? That is the right way to go about it. And that's irking or irritating these other people, because that's when it gets more exciting and more interesting. So first point, never follow the crowd, raise your head above the parapet, and always be willing to fail. Be willing to make a mistake, okay? Get that accountancy training out of your head and put the entrepreneur hat on. That's the first step, number one. Number two, right, go deep into a sector. Now, when I started off my firm many years ago, I started off as a very general firm, but literally within weeks, I realized, you know what, I'm not going to get anywhere being a generalist. So fortune had it, I had actually recently married Smita, who was a dentist. and I'm still married to her, almost 25 years on. And I realized that she didn't understand dentistry. She understood dentistry. She didn't understand the business of dentistry. So I thought, how am I going to help her? How am I going to provide her and people like her understanding of accounting, finance, business, marketing, all these types of things? So I went deep. So what I started to do, write a newsletter. Then I started to do conferences and go out public speaking to different venues all across the UK, and started to market within the niche of the dental sector. People started to know who we are. The people started to see what we're doing, and slowly but surely we started to get clients. Now, over the last 20 odd years, we've grown and got many dental clients, but we also then realize if we're so deep in a sector, you can start seeing other opportunities. And what are those opportunities that we saw? Well, in our case, we started to see opportunities of, well, okay, people want to borrow money to buy a business, or they want to borrow money to buy new equipment for their clinic. So we thought, oh, okay, let's do that. So we started something called a Financial Conduct Authority regulated finance broker. So we added that to the business, an easy cross-sell. Then we started to do, oh, okay, let's offer practice sales. What that means is people want to buy and sell dental clinics. Why don't we become a broker? And that's what we did. We started offering those services. Again, we took a commission on every sale made. We then added a dental buying group. So what that means is we've negotiated with various suppliers out there to dental practices, good terms, good rates for services, products, consumables. And every time someone joins the buying group, we then we get a commission from those providers. So suddenly, but from just being an accountant in a niche, okay, and just providing pretty much compliance services, we've started to offer a whole range of other services, okay, which kind of automatically generate other income for us, which is the strategy, keeping our costs low, but also adding further income to our business. And then in recent times, we've now started to provide offshoring team members to our dental clients, whether it's someone who needs an administrator or PA, or even potentially a receptionist. We can provide that to you. So if you go deep into a sector, that gives you a real insight to that sector. You understand the problems the client is having. You understand, you've seen how you can fix that problem perhaps from another client, and then you kind of act not as that middleman, but as that person who knows different things about different aspects of that sector, and you can then piece together a solution for a particular client. So that's number 2, go deep into a sector and identify other niche services you can provide to your niche clientele. Don't try and be everything to everyone. Try and narrow it down, really narrow it down. The more narrow you are, the more success you have, because you'll become that real expert within that frame. Number 3, I've alluded to this already, okay, but I have a team, and here in the UK, I have team members in Europe. I have a growing team in India. And the point I'm trying to get here is build a global team. Now, I have a team here in the UK who are front-facing, talking to clients on a regular basis, but I also have team members in India who are talking to clients on a regular basis. And I really, really stress that the culture has to be supportive across the whole firm, whether it's a marketing person, whether it's an accounting team member, whether it's a bookkeeper, you name it. I pride myself, and I always want to make sure that we're always culturally the kind of pushing that we've got the best culture we can in the space that we operate in. We're not a big firm. It's a firm that's purely owned by myself and my wife, actually. But culture has to be at the heart of it, and we really want to ensure that our team members are looked after, they respect each other, there's mutual respect between each other, and they support each other. So short and sweet here, build a global team. Now, building a team is never easy. Building a global team is even more difficult. Now, you can get support, whether if you're a UK firm or US firm and are seeking to get advice around this subject, you can reach out to me or my team. We can help you build a global team. Alternatively, you might want to set up your own infrastructure in a place like India or the Philippines and hire. That's absolutely fine as well, and a great idea as well. Is it harder? Absolutely it is, but is it possible? Of course it is. Okay, so we can help you with all of that as well. So I stress, build a global team and really support your team. And at the same time, if you've got team members who aren't pulling their weight, who aren't the right team members, and it's ultimately a team. And whoever you may have in your team, there could be a weak link. Always there could be one person who's a weak link or who bitches about other people, who is a problem. They're the team member to get rid of as well. Okay, so you've got to be quite tough about that as well. Now, the other area I really am a big fan, and as you can see, I probably do quite a lot on social media. I believe in creating and sharing useful and interesting content across all key digital assets. I have a team who help me here in the UK. I have a team who help me in India. But ultimately, many of the ideas come from myself. I have a newsletter. We do YouTube. We have LinkedIn. We have a WhatsApp community. All of these things, which I'll share links with later, which you haven't joined any of them. And I think that's really helps me get the message I want to get out there. So, and I enjoy this. Okay, I enjoy sharing my ideas. I enjoy sharing my experiences. I love it. And sometimes people agree, sometimes people don't agree. That's fine. Okay, but share this content, because the more you share, the more satisfaction you will get, but also other people will appreciate it. And if they appreciate it, they're happy with the services you're providing. And then ultimately they may become a client, they may start spending money with you. All of these things matter. And that's a really cool, important aspect of my firm, is that we share as much publicly available for free, because it makes me feel good. It makes the rest of the team feel good. And we're seen as very, very generous in our content and our knowledge that we get out there. So really, really important point is, if you aren't on platforms yet, if you aren't sharing content, and start. It doesn't have to be big. Just start with the first video or the first article or the first blog post or the first LinkedIn post. But start. And once you started, keep that momentum going, and then ultimately build a team that can help you deliver it. And then I suppose number 5. Now, this is something that's changing the world. Okay. Now, and all of these aspects all go back to creating a happy firm. Okay. You are the firm owner. Remember that you are the firm owner. So you have to be happy doing what you're doing and on a day-to-day basis. If you're not happy doing it, then why are you doing it? So AI and technology is changing, and it will change the whole space. Now, in our team, we have a development team in India, okay, who are developing AI tools as we speak. Will these change how we operate our firm? 100%, okay. Will it mean that we'll change the makeup and the resourcing structure of our team? 100%. Will it mean we'll probably have less people in our team? 100%. But big thing is, we have to move with the times, okay? So if we have less people doing bookkeeping, for instance, because technology will take a lot of it over, that's a good thing, because that then frees up people in my team, the right people in my team, to add other value to the clients. So if you're stuck in a rut and you're still using the old technology, or you haven't evolved onto the cloud, and then AI is just something that's completely not on your wish list, then you need to start thinking, how do I embrace new technology? What technology do I need to embrace? Who will I need to talk to? Start with looking at the technology that's out there, whether it's things like Zoho or Xero or QuickBooks initially, but then eventually you might build your own team who are AI experts. So as I mentioned, in my team, we have an AI team in India who are developing tools. And so since we know this niche sector, as I said, dental sector really well, we're building tools specifically for the dental sector. So what does that actually look like? So we're going to be pretty much using technology and large language models with ChatGPT. A lot of the automation for bookkeeping will happen. Obviously, there'll still be someone to review, but we'll reduce the man hours that are needed for a bookkeeper. In addition, once we're doing all that analysis, we'll then be able to see the trends within hundreds of dental clinics. It's expenditure, for instance. So we'll then be able to say, okay, this supplier is cheaper because of X, okay, or this supplier is cheaper because of Y, and valid added information can go to clients. So that's kind of where we're going. And then ultimately that helps then the clients ultimately run a better business, and who will then pay us for adding value because we're innovating, we're doing things differently. So do you remember going back to that niche? Being in a niche really helps. If you're trying to do lots of things for lots of sectors, it's going to be difficult. But if you're doing it for one sector, it makes it much easier. So embrace new technology, experiment, and get your team on board. Get them using various tools, developing tools, trialing different tools. And don't kind of put your head in the sand when it comes to AI. AI is going to change the accounting sector as we've known it for many years. Look at it as an opportunity rather than a kind of a negative. Then I suppose the next one is, here I've got written here, build a firm that allows you the flexibility and freedom to choose the life you want, not others expect you want. Now, this is something that I've always believed in. I've run my firm for the last 20 odd years, as I said. And if it's not fun, there have been times when I've not enjoyed it, when I couldn't find the right people or whatever. I had to change it. So I have the flexibility in my firm to be able to hire people, run the firm, and design the firm that I want, and I build a team that allows me to do that. One of my big passions is traveling. I love to travel. I love to want to see all the parts of the world as much as possible as I can whilst I'm relatively healthy. And this is a great example. This is a picture of me in Japan a couple of years ago. Literally last week, I've just come back from Peru and Bolivia. And having holiday and having space, having time to think is right at the top of my list, okay? That's where I spend probably most of my money on travel. And by having a firm that allows me to do that, by building a team that allows me that flexibility, is paramount. And that enables me to do the things I enjoy with the people I actually care about. So build that firm that allows you the flexibility and freedom to choose a life you want, not what others expect you to want. So you hear of lots of people now probably getting investors in private equity, all these types of things. Of course, there's a carrot being dangled. They're going to give you lots of money. But with every bit of carrot, there's always a stick as well. So you've got to be very careful who you jump into bed with, whether it's private equity, whether it's another partner, whether it's buying another business and then realizing, oh my God, I've got too much on my plate. You can't do the other things that really matter to you. So you don't have to be big, okay? You just have to be doing things you enjoy. And that's the kind of point of the real point of this, I suppose, this webinar I'm trying to get across in the Samera way is do it your way. Don't let anyone else dictate it, whether it's your partner, your family, your expectations of other peers. Do it your way so you enjoy the things that you do. That's exactly what I've done. And honestly, it's been the best decision I've actually made. And there have been times when I've had people wanting to invest. There have been times when people want to buy. There have been times when people want to kind of put money into the business. But every time I've looked at it, I thought, you know what? It goes back to, what do I want out of my life? Okay, I don't want to. I started to have my own firm to be my own boss, to do what I want when I want. By giving something away to someone at some point, suddenly I'm not my own boss, and then suddenly the flexibility and the life that I chose right at the outset won't necessarily be there. Number 7. This is important. Talks about culture, but really the most important aspect is how to become that better leader. Over the years, my leadership skills, hopefully, I think have improved. Okay, I think you'd have to ask some of my team members, but I believe they have. And a really important aspect is just to be listened to your team, develop your team, and ultimately create a culture so they never want to leave. That's what we try to do. Do I get it right perfectly all the time? No, of course I don't. Okay, but I really think this is a really important aspect for my firm, is that I listen to my team. I try to hire better people than me in their respective roles. Okay, so if I hire someone better than me in what they do, then that's going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. They just get on with it. I delegate down to them, and they then deliver what they need to deliver. And obviously, they need to deliver. So the best leaders, in my mind, aren't the ones who say, "Go and do this." They'll say, "Let's go and do this. Let's do it together. Let's work together." And they listen to the team. They develop the team, and they build a culture that, as I said, that no one wants to leave. So focus on how you can become a better leader, okay, within your business. This is so important, and I see it. People get it so wrong so many times. They think they have to be dictatorial. They think they have to be an ogre. They think they have to be tough on people. No, you just have to respect people, and they have to respect you. If you get that mutual respect, that's when your firm's going to fly. If you don't have the mutual respect and people resent you, or people don't like you, or people fear you, you're not building a firm that's happy. You're not building a firm that's fun. You're not building a firm that's going to be successful. You're building kind of an organization which no one really wants to be part of, including yourself. And then ultimately, it's not good for anybody. And you might end up having more money in your bank account, but are you happy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, number 8, right. So spread your risk, create multiple income streams across your business or businesses. So as I mentioned earlier, I started off my firm as a compliance firm. We then, which is accounting, tax returns, payroll. We then added commercial finance as a broker. We provide lending or broker lending. We then do practice sales. We then do a buying group. And that's just across the accounting business. In addition, outside of my accounting business, I have multiple other businesses as well. I run a property portfolio. I have an Airbnb portfolio. I have I invest very, very actively in the kind of share markets here in the UK, US, and other places across the world. I kind of run multiple businesses, okay? And what I do is that spreads my risk. Now, do some businesses sometimes do, and of course, and I've forgot to mention, I also own and run dental clinics with my wife. And so what we have is some businesses sometimes are doing great, and sometimes some businesses aren't doing so great. But if you're spreading your risk, you're getting multiple income streams across your businesses. And sometimes when they all are doing great, wonderful, but I can guarantee that's not usually the case. Some will be doing great and some won't be doing great. But it's so important to spread your risk and create multiple income streams. Don't just rely on accounting. As we know, the accounting industry is changing, and that will change. Technology and all these things will impact it. As I said earlier, embrace it, but look at other income streams, property, shares, other businesses. These are the things that can also help you grow and build ultimately a happy you and ultimately a happy firm for yourself. Number 9, remember there's so much more to life than your firm. Your health and well-being should be always your priority. Your firm should never be your top priority. I'll stress this: health and well-being. This is the most important thing. All too often people get too consumed by the business, trying to make money, trying to pay the bills, trying to grow, but at the expense of their well-being and health. Now, once your health is gone, it's very difficult to get it back. So it's so important to maintain a healthy relationship with your health, whether it's exercise, mental health, meditation, physical exercise, eating well, diet, all these things matter. So never forget money comes and goes, but time never does. Spend it wisely on your health and with the people you care about as well. So really important to remember, this is a massively important aspect, that your health is paramount to your success of your firm and ultimately to the happiness of your life. So that's number 9, a couple of more to go. Then this is something that really strikes a chord with me, is that we not just we are amongst the most luckiest people out there in the world. Okay, we have qualifications, we have a business, we have a firm, we make money, and so it's so important to help others. Now, whether it's a local charity or whatever it may be, or helping kind of family members, it's just a matter of kind of giving rather than just trying to receive. So one of the things that I've done right from day one, when I started off my firm, is to help other people, help other firms, help other charities, help other organizations. Now, in one of the recent things we've been doing is helping a firm, or helping an NGO called Rhythm of Life in Delhi, which is dealing with slum children, and really helping them around the women in the kind of slums around domestic violence, but also helping the children get educated. And to me, that makes a massive difference. It makes myself feel good about myself. We're helping others, we're donating, we're providing resource. Also my team who are actively involved, they're helping, going to volunteer, going to teach, We're starting, for instance, computer lessons in the next few weeks with children. And I think this makes a massive difference, okay, to the well-being of yourself, but also your wider team, and of course the NGOs or people that you're helping. So really, if you want to be happy, make sure that you give more than you receive. You help others, you'll feel so much better about it. So I cannot stress how important this point is as well. And then finally, the last point to really get across on the Samera way to kind of get across how to become that happiness-centered firm is, don't see your peers as competitors. Collaborate with them. They're not your competition. If you work together and help each other, the actual kind of marketplace will rise. Okay, it will do better. So, as in a great example, one of our great large competitors in the dental sector in the UK is actually a client of ours. Okay, we provide offshore manpower to them, we support them and help them grow, and that has had a massive impact on their firm, which they're very happy about, but it's also helped our firm massively as well. We're obviously getting income from that, and it's a win-win situation. So rather than have a mindset of a kind of scarcity, we believe in having a mindset of abundance. So we help others, and ultimately that leads to our success and leads to other success as well. So in essence, collaborate with your peers. Don't see them as your competition, but as your colleagues. So as all boats rise, as the tide comes in. There are 4 main elements: the LinkedIn channel, or mine, my YouTube channel, my accountancy firm owners newsletter, and then a WhatsApp community, all free. And if you enjoy it, please do engage, please do share. If you liked what you've heard today, this is a very kind of thin layer of what we're going to be talking about at our Going Global Summit, which is in Mumbai in 2025, in August. We have kind of really got an exciting event. We've got a really exciting event coming up in August 2025. That's our second Samera Global Summit. We'll be talking about some of these aspects I've talked about today, but in more depth about AI. We'll be showing AI demonstrations of the technology that we're building and would have built by then. We're going to be talking about how to get those global clients. We're going to be talking about a whole range of aspects, which are really exciting. So check that. And if you haven't already, joined the waitlist. This waitlist is, I think, just 2 or 3 spaces left on the waitlist left before this waitlist closes, and you can buy your ticket. And then the next waitlist opens up for a higher price ticket. So I hope to see you there. Okay. Building a happiness centered firm, just a summary sheet. Number 1, never follow the crowd. Now, by virtue of just a few of the questions I've just seen here, I think so many people want to do the offshoring side of things, which is great, and there's nothing wrong with that. But do it in a different way. Think about how you can be different. And that follows into point 2. Go deep and develop a niche expertise. Become a niche player. Don't become try and be everything to everyone. Build a global team with a world-class culture. Number 3, build a global team. And remember, culture. That's the key thing in your organization. That's going to make the difference, because that makes you stand out with your clients, with your peers, with attracting talent. Number 4, dominate the digital marketing space in your niche. Become really good at it. Go online, be on YouTube, be on LinkedIn, be on TikTok, be on Instagram, whatever it may be that tickles your fancy, but do it. Number 5, embrace new technology. Really important. Understand AI, implement AI, develop AI, become the leader in that space. Build a firm that allows you the flexibility and freedom. That's the most important thing. You want to be happy, you want flexibility and freedom. If you've got people breathing down your neck, you're never going to be happy, whether that's a client, whether that's an investor. If people are like that, get rid of them. Okay, they're not right for you. Number 7, become the best leader possible and hire the best people possible. So important. Leadership, focus on those skills. How can you get respect? How can you gain respect? And how can you earn respect? And then how can you give respect at the same time? Spread your risk. As I said, have multiple income streams, not just compliance and accounting, offshoring, whatever. Look at other avenues, other businesses, property, shares, whatever it may be, but spread your income streams. That's what I've done over the last 20 odd years. And honestly, I make more money from my shares actually than my actual accounting firm, but the accounting firm generates the cash for me to then put into the shares. So really important to understand that. And I use the power of compounding to then help me grow my share portfolio. Number 9, prioritize your health and well-being. Make it your priority. Get fit. Every day I'm doing exercise. I walk, I run, I weights, I cycle, I do something, yoga. Do it. Prioritize your health. Your health only comes once. Time is the most important commodity here, not money. Get your health right. Number 10, help others less fortunate than you. You know what? You'll feel bloody good about yourself and you'll enjoy it, okay? And before you know it, you'll be giving more. The more you do, the more you'll gain from it. And then finally, number 11, collaborate with your peers, as helping professionals raises the whole market. So help your colleagues, help your team members, you don't try and have a scarcity mindset, have an abundant mindset, share your knowledge, share your experiences, as I'm doing here today. So, and in essence, building a happiness-centered firm is one thing ultimately, having fun. Okay, make sure you're having fun. If you're not having fun in doing what you're doing, then you're in the wrong game. So I hope that's given you, it's been talking for 45 minutes. I did say it'd be about 45 minutes long. I hope that's given you an insight how to build a happiness-centered firm. There are so many ways we can help you. I've given you a list of all those free things you can join, newsletters, YouTube and stuff. There's another question here. Yeah, absolutely. There's a question continuing on this acquisition side of things. Yes, I have seen an acquisition by someone from Asia acquiring a firm in the US and as well as the UK. Of course, there are cultural issues. Of course, there's trust issues. Of course, those things come to play. But if you have a game plan to implement those and organize yourself, and but also you've got the funding to do it, then it's a great idea. And if you're looking to do that, and if you've got the funding, reach out to me. I'm kind of working with a few other parties on this type of transaction, of cross-border transactions, and it could be a mutual gain to be had there as well. I hope you've enjoyed today. Please feel free to reach out, and maybe I'll see some of you at the event in Mumbai we're doing as well. And we'll be doing this event on a regular basis, or this webinar on a regular basis. So please do share it with we'll share it with everyone else. Okay, all right. Thank you. And one question: if you want to get connected with me on a one-to-one basis, drop me a message on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way initially, and if I can help, then we can go from there. Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a great day. firstly, about myself, my background. As I said earlier,